Hello and a very good evening to you. Yes, it's that time again. It's the start of a brand new one-day special and it's a double launch. Bizarre-Ology. Janie's here. We're going to be seeing Janie any second now. But let me just tell you, this is going to be so exciting. 2 hours, I'm going to be crafting along as well. It's all about bookbinding. Let's have a look at some samples. Aren't they fabulous? I'm so looking forward to this. I've got to say, good evening, welcome.
Hello.
Janie. Welcome. That doesn't sound quite right. You've been here before.
Not quite this far away from you.
No, it's very strange, isn't it? It's
strange.
really hard to get used to it, but we have to do it.
Yeah.
Janie, I'm so looking forward to the double launch, bookbinding.
Yes.
Is it something that's achievable by everybody?
Yes. What I have tried to do, so a couple of years ago I got into bookbinding.
Okay.
I attended a workshop myself and did some of the simple steps and I just got hooked on it. What I like to do is, I mean, bookbinding is an age-old craft.
Yeah.
It's a real art. But what I've done is I've simplified it so that it sounds very daunting, doesn't it, bookbinding? It sounds a bit scary, but actually we've simplified it and then we've put in the craft element onto it. So depending on what papers you use and embellishments
fabulous.
and tassels, and we can go a bit crazy.
Now then, do stay with us. As I say, it's a double launch. You've mentioned tassels. We've got a tassel making kit coming up as well. But let's have a look at the one-day special itself. Let's have a look at exactly what we're getting. This is the complete book binding kit. Now there is a £10 saving here. Janie, I'm going to let you explain absolutely everything that's in here because there's an awful lot.
There is a lot, yeah. And actually this came from me working out tools to use for myself, and then we were like, do you know what, actually I think people might enjoy this, and we tried it out at a workshop last weekend. People were sworn to secrecy and they loved it. But you've got the bookbinding trough, which is you'll see as we go into demo, you'll see what everything is useful, but we've got a piercing guide. So one of the really annoying things with bookbinding is all the measuring. You have to be quite accurate. So trying to look for ways to eliminate that side of things. So using a piercing guide, there's no measuring. We've kind of done the hard work for you.
Fabulous.
You've got your awl there, pokey tool to craft.
A very posh one, I've got to say.
Yeah. A bone folder, which is essential for doing this sort of thing. We've got a block of wax there. We've got the thread. We've got the glue. Lots of different. Everything you're gonna need. The only thing you need to add is your paper and cutting mat, and I believe that's the only other things that you need.
So if you want to go for the full collection, the details are on the screen. Now you will notice popping up at the bottom of the screen, there's some extra item numbers there for you as well. Some individuals available, but of course the value is in the one-day special itself with that saving of £10, and as we'd like to give you that flexi-buy option as well. So everything that you're seeing here, you've heard it from Janie, all you need is your paper to make your book itself. Let's have a go at look at these. 469,018 is for the one-day special itself. 2 payments of £34.98, but we can offer the individuals as well. So let's have a look at these. Now, the cradle, the guide and the awl, that's the pokey tool, the very posh one. You can see the details at the bottom of the screen there. £19.99 for those, 322600. Then we have the book press, the glue and the brush. That's another option for you there. You can see details. £24.99 for those. 643189. And then we also have the bundle with the bone folder. You've got the ruler in there. You've got your grey board in there as well, and all your bits and pieces that you need. That is also a separate bundle available at $19.99, $254 $342. The DVD is also available individually at $14.99. Details at the bottom of the screen. Remember, all these in the one-day special have gone for the complete. Janie, what's on the DVD? Tell us about that.
So, if you try and put bookbinding techniques into words, it can be very complicated.
Okay.
So I've got a lot of bookbinding books, and you can go through it, and it, you know, explaining in words how to do the stitching and things like that can be complicated.
Okay.
So we thought, right, we'll do a tutorial where I'm doing it in real time and explaining it as we go. So if people want to put it on their TV at home, start doing it along with me, they can pause it, they can carry on, they can, so it's a lot easier, and it takes you through several different stitch techniques. Ideal thing to have rather than getting...
So you really have got, apart from the paper you need to make your book, you've got everything you need to get going. Great price. Let's have a look at some more samples. We did see the video a little bit earlier, but these are incredible. Now there's some beautiful papers. I can see there's fabric being used as well. These papers, Janie, would these be new by any chance, some of them?
Are new, yes.
Ooh.
On the new DVD-ROM, yes, I've had great fun. Some of the examples, like you said, with the fabric, some are pre-printed. There was a couple other things that we saw there, but most of what we've got here are from the new papers.
Fantastic. Lots of new todays to show you. These are just amazing, aren't they? You're going to be making your own books in, you know, in a very short space of time. Now let's have a look at something else we've got for you, because I have mentioned the papers there. We have got another brand new today. This is our volume 2, our compendium, full of beautiful artwork, of course. Janie, all new?
Yes.
How many different images have we got?
I believe I counted it up at 118.
Wow.
Probably should have rounded it to 120, but actually it started off as less, and I kept adding more and more.
Now we can see, is it a crow or is it a raven?
I think it's a raven.
I think it's a raven. We saw that, didn't we, at the start of the video there. These are absolutely beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And you've got some templates here as well. Look at these, aren't they amazing?
So what I've done this time, on the first DVD-ROM, I put a compilation together. Now, some of it was my prints, my drawings and vintage images. What I've done this time, I wanted a botanical theme, but with a bit of a twist. But I've used all vintage and antique images. I've literally trawled thousands and thousands of images to find what I want, clean them up, edit them out, layer them. Most of these have got at least 15 layers to each design. Wow. So yeah, I've had great fun, and I've spent a long time doing these.
You can tell, you really can. These are absolutely beautiful. And tell me about the templates as well, Janie.
So we had templates with the first one, but this one we're still going along the journaling kind of bookbinding theme. So we've got templates in there that are ideal for putting into journals. Yeah, just kind of quick, you know, your lines and for your planners and things like that.
Fabulous. Now we've seen lots of lovely samples. I've got a few more at the back here as well. I just think these papers are absolutely beautiful. So of course you can print these out as you want them. Yeah. You know, so if you need a lot, you can just keep printing. You just need a tiny bit, just one sheet. Look at this.
But the thing I like as well is that you can print on lots of different things. So although I do use paper pads and I love them, if you use these, you can print on your vellum and acetate and different types of paper. I've printed on canvas and wrapped a couple of canvases here, so lots of different things you can do.
I've got the tassels coming up, remember that. Now I can see here, is this printed from your DVD?
Yes, it is. So what I did was I just took some cotton, which actually was from an old bed sheet that I got at a charity shop, ironed on some Bonder web on the back, which meant, and I kept the paper backing on it, which meant it fed through my printer.
Wow, isn't that amazing? That looks absolutely fantastic, it really does. $14.99 is the price for the Compendium Volume number 2, of course. $895,417. Don't miss out on that, that is absolutely beautiful. Now I keep mentioning tassels, and the reason is because I'm quite excited about this, because I might be getting to have a go. We'll see how we go along in the show. Now you get your yarn in this kit, you get your thread, you get the tool in here as well. We're busy on this one already. What a great price, Janie, $11.99 for the bundle. And this is a yarn we're going to get, is it?
Yes, so it might vary in colour, but that's the type of the yarn that you get, and it's a recycled sari yarn. Sorry, that was a bit of a tongue twister, that one was.
Look at these, aren't these fabulous?
But yeah, obviously you can use different yarns and threads that you've got at home as well.
So anything from your embroidery threads to your, well, even finer than that actually, to your wools and your different yarns that you maybe just have oddments left over from your crocheting and knitting.
Yeah. And it's nice to mix it up as well. Again, if you've got, like you said, you know, oddments, you could put bits of lace in there with thread and, you know, all sorts of things.
Oh, can I lift this
So
up?
that one, I made a necklace with the tassel at the end.
Isn't that gorgeous? Isn't that beautiful?
But you've got the 3 different sizes with the tassel maker, and then different size holes. So when we come to demo, you'll see what it's all for. But it does open it up to make. I mean, you can see the different sizes that you can make there.
Look at these. Aren't they fabulous? Just £11.99 for this kit. 690-807. Brand new today, of course. Let's have a look at the website as well, because everything's over there. There's so much to see, actually. There really, really is. Now, the one-day special is a 2-hour launch, remember. We're launching at 6 o'clock as normal, but we're going on for 2 hours. Now already almost 20% of the stock has gone. We're only 10 minutes in, very, very busy. Lots of lovely new items today. Can't wait for this. Of course, that instructional DVD included as well. I'm going to be crafting a lot. I can't wait. I really can't wait for this. Oh, so many goodies. So Janie,
yes, this is going to be like a little mini craft along, isn't it? Well, just with the two of us. But no, I thought because we're introducing a new craft, and I do teach it in workshops, I thought, well, we've got a 2-hour launch. Let's make one from scratch, and I can teach you. And then you might come up with questions that I might not think of, that the viewers might be thinking. So, and you know, we'll use the tools and we'll see how it all works.
Okay. Anybody got any questions as well? Please do email in studio@hochanda.com. You can say hello, but if you've got questions, let us know. If there's something that you're particularly enjoying or you want to see Janie bring in the future, that would be great as well. But really, this double launch is about bookbinding, so, you know, do ask those questions. Right, so where do we start then?
Okay, so what we're going to do is make a simple 3-hole bind, often called a pamphlet bind. Okay. So this is what I always begin with when I teach at workshops. It's a very simple bind, and a lot of the other the samples that we've got have been made like this, but then depending on what paper or even fabric you use, and then putting tassels and embellishments, it creates something completely different. Yeah. So first thing, if you would like to pick a cover. So the covers I've printed A5 from the DVD.
Can I show these actually? I'm going to turn them round and show them as we go through.
So on the DVD-ROM you get the option to print A4, A5, A6.
Oh, fabulous.
So I've printed these off all on A5 and I've put them onto a 220 GSM, which is an ideal weight for the cover.
Do you know, these are absolutely beautiful, aren't they? They really, really are.
Okay, so this little creature, I love him, but I don't actually know what he is.
Oh.
I don't know what he is. I don't know if anyone else knows what he is. He, she, whatever.
Well, Jim in the gallery is saying he thinks it's a tree baby. Never heard of that before.
I just thought he looked really
tree
cute.
Baby.
He was in a
Do
antique.
let us know if anybody knows. If anybody knows, Bush baby. I've heard of that. Jim, if you think it's tree baby, we'll let you have that one. Oh, look at that kingfisher. Beautiful. Yes, bush baby. If anybody knows it's something different, let us know. Oh, decisions, Janie. I'm going to have that one. I nearly went for the kingfisher.
Right, I'll go with this one. Okay, so to start with.
Oh, over 10% of the compendium has now gone as well. Busy, busy start. There we are. Details still on the screen for you there.
So we're doing everything A5.
Okay.
So we've got 10 sheets of white paper. This is 90 GSM. You can use your normal 80 GSM copy paper, but this just has that little bit extra weight to it, which I like.
So a decent quality printing paper would be good.
I mean, you can, if you start doing bigger books, or you know, you can use a nice cartridge paper, watercolour paper, whatever you want, but for demo's sake, we'll just use some plain, and then we'll go from there. So, first things first is we need to fold all the pieces individually. So, one thing that a lot of people say, oh, actually, I haven't got you. Oh, there we go.
Okay.
What a lot of people start off by saying is, why don't we just fold them all over in one go? Because we're going to obviously piece them all together as a book. The reason is, if we do it like this, we get a nice crease on the spine, and your book will sit a lot flatter.
Yeah, I can see that actually. If you would fold it all together, they wouldn't actually crease in the same place, would they? Because the outer page would it's got to stretch round everything.
Yeah, you'll see in a minute that we will trim it down, because obviously when we put them in together, and normally what I'd do is put them straight into here, but I thought I'd end up putting it in front of me and it'd be in the viewer's way. So, but yeah, when we put it all together, because we're creating a thickness on the spine, it will push some of the pages out slightly on the opening edge, but we're going to trim all that down to make it nice and neat. Okay, so this is the boring bit, is folding 10 sheets of paper.
I don't find this boring actually. I quite like it. I find it quite therapeutic. You could sit watching something on the TV and just have a day of or an evening of folding pages, couldn't you?
But no, I mean, I'm just cracking on and doing it. But if you have a thicker paper, or when we come to do the cover, the easiest way I find of is lining these opening edges up, and then I push the bone folder down into the centre and out.
Okay.
So I'm going to do that on this one.
I'm going to try that on my last one. So down and then out to either side.
Yeah.
Okay, lovely stuff.
So you've got a nice crisp crease on all of them there. So I'm going to bring my cradle in.
Okay.
Like I said, what I would normally do is, as I'm folding like that, I would drop them straight into the cradle, because I'd be putting it in front of me. I thought that I'd be in the way of the camera.
Okay.
So we're literally not with the cover yet, just all the individual pieces of paper.
Now we are very busy out there. Remember, this is a double launch. Almost a quarter of the one-day special is already gone. I was expecting this to be busy. This is something very different. I've been looking forward to this so much. I knew Janie was coming with us at some point. I think many of you have been teased about it maybe as well, so you've been looking forward to it. Something very, very different for you to do as well. Don't forget to check those baskets out. Now, if you want the one-day special, the details on the screen, that's where the value is, that's where the saving is. But at the bottom of the screen, you'll see the individuals as well. Now, we're using the cradle at the moment. That is currently at the bottom of the screen, $19.99. You are getting the cradle, the guide, and the awl being our very posh pokey tool. There we are. Lovely.
So, yeah, pop it in the cradle like that. Like I said, normally you would, as you fold, pop it into the cradle as you go.
Yeah.
That saves on a job, basically.
Okay.
So now we've got them all put in together. Tap them down. And what I often do as well, because when we bind this, we're going to be binding into the centre. It's going to pull it in tight. Okay. So what I often do is pop my ruler and tap it in.
Okay.
So that it actually pushes your spine in. Did I give you a ruler, or did I not?
No, you didn't.
There you go. Have that one.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay, so it's all tapped into place.
Yep.
So if you have a look here, because we're using A5 paper for the cover and the inserts are the same size, okay? Whereas if you look on my demo piece, you'll see we've got that lip all the way around. Okay, so it makes it nice and neat.
Yeah.
It also protects the pages. So if you had that in your handbag, in and out of your handbag, it would keep the pages nice and neat.
I adore these images on these papers. Aren't they just beautiful? They really are.
Yeah, I have kind of fallen in love with.
Oh, look at the inside of this one. Isn't that pretty?
So yeah, that one I just fed it through the printer twice, obviously to print both sides, because even if you have a printer that does automatic double-sided, if you're using heavier weight, it won't do it. So you need to take it out and put it back through.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is make the insert pages that slightly bit smaller.
Okay. Yeah.
So you know where I was saying that normally in bookbinding there's a lot of measuring, you have to be very precise. Yeah, we don't like that. We don't like measuring. Ooh. So I would say roughly 1/2 centimetre top and bottom is what we need. Yeah. Okay, so if we take off 1 centimetre, that's going to give us 1/2 centimetre top and bottom. Yeah. So you could really cheat, because you've got the grid system on your mat. So if I was using it, you know, I would normally have that grid system, but I bought myself a new mat and I didn't actually think about that. So yeah, you could line up to 1 centimetre.
That's very handy.
What I'm going to do, so you can do it one way and I can do it the other if you want. So you're going to just take off from the top edge.
Okay.
So if you line your folded edge up against your grid system.
Okay, so I want to trim
if you
down
put
there.
your ruler down onto that first line, you're taking off 1 centimetre.
Yeah.
So before we start cutting, the one thing I'm going to go through, and I do go through this on the DVD, and it's something I always say in workshops. We've got 10 sheets of paper, which we've now folded. So we've actually got 20 leaves of paper.
We have.
So one of the first things that people think, if I'm cutting through 20 sheets of paper, I need to put a lot of pressure.
Okay.
And you don't.
No.
That's more dangerous. The other thing, and it sounds silly, but I see a lot of people, when we start a workshop, they'll put their blade straight out like that. If you put your blade out like that, you've got no, you know, you can't guide it, it's not safe, you'll get a wiggly line and chances are you'll cut yourself.
Okay.
So with the knives that have got the little lines on there, I would put no more than one line out. That's all the blade that you need. Okay,
right. Good tip.
So the other thing, these are slightly different to the rulers in the kit, but the rulers in the kit do have a non-stick back to them, which makes them safer.
Lovely.
So when you put the ruler down, you put a firm pressure onto the ruler to make sure it doesn't move. But when you glide your blade over, it's with smoother, softer strokes.
Right.
So it's better to take more glides to get through.
There's no way you're going to go through that in one go.
No,
absolutely
you would,
not.
no, and you wouldn't get a nice straight line either.
Okay.
So you're cheating by using the grid system.
It's
but
not
I'm
cheating.
Well, it
Is it?
But that's how I would normally do it. But I'll show it the other way. So what I'm going to do is put the bottom here. That's how much of a lip I want.
Okay.
And I'm just going to put a little line here.
Okay, yep.
And that will match up. So I'll use my grid system in a similar way.
I'll let you borrow my mat, Janie, if you want.
Do you know what? I thought I'll get myself a nice new mat to work on TV with. I put it in the back of the car when I was loading up. What happens? The two dogs get in because they think they're coming to Hochanda with me. So then I get muddy paw prints on my new mat. No, get out of the boot. So the other thing I do when I'm cutting is start with your folded edge at the top.
Okay, yeah.
Because as you're cutting through, it won't ruffle up in the same way it would if you were cutting from the opening edge. And once you get through, it will kind of fall away.
Yeah.
Also, what a lot of people do is they start cutting here and cut along. If you do that, you end up with a little notch here that doesn't cut through. So I always start off of the page, and then you just glide through as many times as you need to get through all 20 sheets.
This is a nice sharp
and then you
knife.
see it. Yeah, I've snapped the ends off so that they're nice and sharp, and that's something that you need to do quite regularly, is take the end of the blade off so you're always working with a nice sharp blade. It's actually safer.
It's a long time since I've cut through 20 sheets of paper in one go. I've nearly there, look.
I have treated myself to a nice
I am taking it steady.
big guillotine, because when I prep for workshops, I used to cut all the A4 paper down by hand, and that's a lot of paper, so I've treated myself to a nice big guillotine now.
Do we keep the scraps? Have we got a use for these?
No, we don't need those.
Paper tassel?
Printed papers, then yes, I would keep scraps, because we do like little ribbon trims and things like that.
Okay.
So if you lay that over the front, you'll see now if you've got your even gap top and bottom. So you'll see where we folded it in here, it's slightly splayed out the opening edge, because we've got a thickness on the spine now. This isn't even. Also, we need to trim it down to give us that lip. So again, by eye, I know if I cut it about there, that's going to give me an even gap all the way around.
Now, so this time, because I haven't got ½ centimetres, shall I mark mine as well?
Yes.
I don't know.
You can't always cheat, Catherine.
I can gauge it. There we are. Let's put it halfway through. And then through again. Now this time, Janie, because you haven't got a folded edge, so you have got an edge because it's open top and bottom.
Yeah.
So what's the best tip there? Just again, just start away from the
start
page.
away from it, just a smooth glide down, not too much pressure on your knife. I do see a lot of people when they get a kind of a wiggly edge, it is because they're putting too much pressure on.
Yeah.
So like I said, and then that will fall away. So what I tend to do, I get into the habit of, when I get to the end, if you do another slice, and then I literally with the blade flick that out. so it flicks out of the way.
Oh.
So it's not building
Yeah.
up and getting into your way.
Nearly there. I'm just taking it very steady.
Yeah, that's the best
Very
way.
steady.
Obviously, I've cut quite a few in my time, so it can be a little bit quicker.
Yeah, do you know, we get used to not using a craft knife sometimes as well, because you know, we are spoilt with guillotines and paper trimmers, aren't we?
Well, I do get people say to me sometimes, can I use a paper trimmer to do this? Very few paper trimmers will go through 20 sheets of paper in one go. And you need to do it really in one go to get that nice even edge. So if you do have one of the kind of slicey guillotines, if it will take that amount of paper, then yes. Otherwise, you're better to do it by hand.
Just to make it clear as well, because if you started by cutting your pages individually first, as soon as you put them together again, you've got that same issue of them not sitting straight on the edge.
Yeah, it's because we're creating this thickness with the spine by folding them in together. Yeah. Okay, so we're ready to start putting this together now.
I've just noticed I've got a tiny little bit that I'm not happy with there. I'm just going to trim that little bit off there. I think I've missed a little bit at the top. There we are. So hopefully that's out. There we go. Right. Done.
Right, so if you get your cover, pop your pages inside, and you should have a couple of little binder clips there as well, just to the side of you. So I'm just going to put a binder clip in the top, just keeps it in place.
Okay. Just to make sure I'm happy with
so
that.
just get your even gap all the way around.
Okay.
Perfect. And then we slot it into
just the one clip
into
on.
the trough. Yeah. And I tend to put that away from me as well, so it's out of the way.
Okay.
So now we come to piercing the holes. So 3 even holes. Now some people when they do bookbinding do that by eye.
Okay.
I prefer it to be nice and even, especially if you end up using a decorative stitch. You want it to look nice and even. Okay. So that's where this guide comes in. Instead of measuring your halfway point and then measuring even points, we use this one. Okay.
Lovely.
So I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the guides that are on there. I think I badly put a little bit of ink on yours actually.
Mine has got ink. Do you want to swap?
Do you want to swap?
You have that one,
so you
and
might,
then we can see.
There, so you can see the numbers on there.
Lovely.
Okay, so they correspond with the notches on the end here, rather than the holes in the centre.
Right, okay.
So what we do, we want to find that centre point, okay? So we've got the numbers on the outside, so actually I've placed it down perfectly in place. That was a bit of a fluke. So I can see on my insert pages, if I've got 7 and 7 there, that means the 0 is my centre point.
7 on the inside pages.
Yeah, so yours might be slightly different because where you've trimmed it down, it might be a slightly different size. But basically, you want the same number at either end.
I understand.
And then the 0 is your centre point.
Sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect. Love it.
So then taking your awl. So I tend to push down, and you don't have to push down much. It's just to make sure that this guide doesn't move. Okay. And I always go into the centre hole, and you don't need to put much pressure on at all. It will go straight through.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. So the reason that I did this is because when I was teaching workshops, I always tell people don't stab down into the mat because you damage it.
Yeah.
And then when we go to cut, it's, you know, you've damaged your mat. But a lot of ladies were struggling because what I was doing was if you hold it like this, you would put the awl through and you would push and turn. Yeah. But what ladies were finding was that they weren't coming back out onto the fold of the spine.
Okay.
And they, you know, you sometimes can't get the pressure to do it. By using this, let's get that lined up again.
Very easy to do that actually.
So then it's up to you where you want the other 2 holes.
Okay.
So if we were doing lots of holes, it might be a case that you miss one, pierce the next one, miss one, pierce the next one.
Right.
But we're only doing 2 more holes. Okay. So the one thing I would say is don't go too close to the top. So you wouldn't go any closer than this hole here, because the closer you get to the top, it's more likely to rip when you bind it. Okay, so you want to be at least 1 centimetre away from the top edge of your page.
Well,
okay.
I'm guessing then number 5 would be okay.
Yep, let's both go into number 5, shall we?
Perfect. Well, I'm saying number 5, it's the nearest number 5,
Yeah.
so you said the notches, didn't you, there?
So then you can see that the holes there evenly placed and they're straight through to the spine.
Right, so I'm counting the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just make sure I have definitely got the right hole. Can I do number 3? Oh, you've done number 3. See, there we go. Do you know that is
it's really
to do,
easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look.
So nice and even, no measuring, very simple.
Perfect.
Okay, so now we get to binding.
Yes.
So let's get some thread. So in your kit, let's have a look. Let's just go with the dark one for yours. So in your kit, you'll get the colours vary.
These are nice colours, aren't they?
Do you want that one instead?
No, I don't mind which one. I'm just going to give a bit of an update though, Janie, because we're a quarter of the way through the double launch and we're also a quarter of the way through the stock.
Oh.
Already?
Oh. Okay.
That's the one-day special itself. That's the full kit there. 2 payments of £34.98. You're getting everything that you see in there. Now, a lot of you are adding the DVD, and that's the Compendium DVD, the one with those beautiful prints on. And why wouldn't you? Because they're absolutely stunning. They really, really are. There's the Compendium. I can't get over these. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you want to add that into your basket with the one-day special, of course, you'll qualify for the Flexi on that as well. So it would be 2 payments of £7.50 if you're going for the Compendium. That's on top of the one-day special, of course. Fabulous. Right, okay.
Okay, so yeah, the thread in the kit, you might get various colours.
Yeah.
Okay. You can use as well embroidery floss.
Okay.
So for this weight of book, if you're using embroidery floss, because you know it comes with 6 threads,
Yeah.
doesn't it? I would split it into 2.
So you'd have 3 strands.
3 strands.
Okay.
Yeah. So we only need twice the height of the book for the bind that we're going to do. But I always say to people in workshops, twice the height plus a bit for luck. Gives you a bit to work with. Okay.
Twice
I'm
the
going to
height
give you
and a bit
some
for
wax.
luck.
Now this looks a little bit different to the wax that's in the kit, but it does the same thing. This is just what I use from home. So what we're doing is waxing the thread.
Okay.
So you can buy pre-waxed bookbinding thread, but
Yeah.
if you can do it yourself, it means you can use whatever colour you want.
Is
The
it quite easy
reason-
to get hold of the... You've got the wax in
There
the kit,
is a
haven't
block
you?
of wax in there. It's just a bit different to the one that I've got here.
Okay.
It does exactly the same thing.
Lovely.
So the reason that we wax thread, it means when we tie it off, it holds the knot a lot tighter.
Yeah.
If we were to progress, so if people really like this and we do a second bookbinding, we might progress on to more advanced stages. If you're doing a thicker book and you've got a longer thread, it helps it to not tangle up as you're
Right,
working.
I
Because a lot of
understand.
bookbinders, if we're doing what we call a Coptic stitch and you're doing a big fat spine, you've got quite a lot of thread, excuse me, and it's more likely to tangle up if it's not waxed.
I love this fact that you're starting just with the 3 holes on these little books. What do we call these again? The little small books?
Pamphlet bind.
Pamphlet bind.
Yeah.
What great gifts these will make, especially if you're printing out from the Compendium as well. They're just beautiful. They really, really are. And so, so useful. Just think of all the papers you could use that you've got at home as well. I know I've got a lot.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. What I wanted to do is show people the simple techniques. This is the hardest bit, is threading your needle.
I know. I've had to put my glasses on now.
But yeah, I wanted to show people a simple binding technique. But like I said before, we could do the same thing with leather or faux leather as the cover.
Yeah.
You could use an embroidered fabric, which I've done on some of them. You know, you can embellish it further just with a simple binding that looks really special.
Okay. I'm just going to let everybody know we're very, very busy. Well, not just on the one-day special, but also on the bundle that gives us the cradle and the awl and the guide all in one. £19.99 is the price. We're extremely busy on this one. Brand new today, of course, 322600. A third of the stock has gone already. That's on that one individual one, Janie.
Yeah.
Right.
Does that mean I get a day off tomorrow, possibly?
No, we'll find you something to do.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to start binding.
Okay.
Okay, so this is where it all comes together now. So we've threaded it, single thread, and I've just left a little tail on mine. Okay, we don't need to knot the end.
Okay.
We're going to do that later. So we're going to start in the centre, and we're going to go from the inside out, because what I want to do is finish up on the inside with a knot.
Okay.
So wherever we start on this one is where we end up. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Okay, yep.
So we go through the centre hole and just leave enough on the inside that you can hold on to it to tie it off. Okay.
Okay.
turn over, and you notice we've still got the binder clip on here, just keeping everything in place. So you now go back into, it doesn't matter whether it's top or bottom. So I end up kind of doing this up in the air because I'm used to demoing, and now I'm thinking actually it's not ideal for the cameras, is it? Yeah, but it's, I end up doing it like that for demoing, and I thought actually the camera might not follow me. I've got it up in the air waving around, you know. Okay, so now we've got both threads on the inside, okay? Yeah. So now we skip that centre hole completely.
Okay. All right.
And go back out to the top, or the bottom, whichever. Yeah. Okay.
Got it.
And now go back into the centre.
I see. That's easy enough then, isn't it? It is when you've got your glasses on, Catherine.
Well, I was just thinking the same, actually. I ought to put my other glasses on. Right. So now we can take the needle out.
Here. I've just noticed they're covered in paint from doing the kitchen at the weekend.
Right, so I've ended up coming 2 threads out on one side.
Okay, yeah.
You may end up 1 on either side.
No, I'm the same as you, actually.
Right, so what we actually want is 1 on either side.
Okay.
So all I'm going to do is tuck 1 underneath. Okay.
Tuck 1 underneath. There we go. Yep.
Shall I pop that one back in here so it doesn't wander off? Okay, so now to get the tension, all we do is a little pull like that, and it will tighten up the tension on the back.
Go a little bit then. Yeah.
Yeah. And again, that helps with the wax thread because it holds everything together nicely. So now all we need to do is a double knot.
Okay.
So I automatically, when I tie a knot, start off with left over right.
So do I.
So then my second knot, I'll go right over left.
Oh, right. I see. I thought you were going to say that was wrong, left over right. But so whatever you start with, you then do the opposite.
The opposite way. Yeah, it just helps it to hold. So I'm going to cut off the excess. Now, depending on how much wax you've put on there, if you've got enough, it will actually stick down like that. If not, you can just tuck 1 thread under your stitch.
Yes, it's stuck.
So we can take our binder clip off.
There we go. Perfect. Yep.
And we're now
bound.
That.
Oh.
So if you've got a little corner punch, there you go. Is that the first time you've bound a book?
It is.
There you go.
See, you learn something new every single day, don't you? There's always a craft you've not done.
Yeah. But I think because so many people really love doing their journaling now, make your own.
Definitely.
I think do you know what, I used to get moaned at when I was at college and uni because I've never been a sketchbook keeper, and I've always worked in mixed media, but my sketchbook has been my canvases. Yeah. So I go straight into it, and I always got told you've got to work in a sketchbook. If someone had shown me how to do this at the time and I made my own, I'd have used them so much more. Because I enjoy making them, and then
yeah. I mean, you can go from a little pamphlet book like this to, you know, things like wedding guest books and you know anything that you're going to journaling or you want people to sign or is going to be a keepsake. Yeah. We have had a question come in actually. This is from Cassie, I believe. Now, what is the Angel policy, the DVD images?
Okay, so you can print off, make and sell. That's absolutely fine. I would prefer you don't make any adjustments to my designs. Okay. And you can't just print off papers and sell the papers. Really? So as long as you're making something with them, then you're free to sell.
Fabulous.
Yeah,
I don't know why you would want to alter anything because they are absolutely stunning. I really am blown away by them. Can you imagine having a little stand at a fete and having your little books like this on the stall? Do you know, you're going to attract people in with these papers straight away, but then there's a little gift there, really useful.
What I've done as well with the designs is, so this one, for example.
Oh, with the tree baby.
Yeah. So this one is in focal images. So there's 4 different areas on the DVD, and this is in focal, okay? So stop giggling.
Oh, it's Jimmy. It's making me laugh.
And then what I've done as well is you've got coordinating papers to go with this. So then what I've done is I've taken this away, so you've got the background. So a lot of them are like that. I've gradually taken steps away, so you've got coordinating papers that work together.
Beautiful.
So like with that one on the back is, you know, goes together.
They are absolutely stunning, Jenny. They really are.
So another nice little thing to do with these books, if you've got a little corner punch, they come in different, you know, different guises, and just by stamping out those corners on the cover, I'll hand it over to you in a sec.
Doesn't that
nice little finishing touch?
It really does.
Makes a real difference just doing that.
So this is where, if you're going to round the corners, you may need to make sure that you have trimmed away your pages to the right size as well, because you're only taking a small amount off, but if you don't allow enough room, then obviously you're going to find that something might just be poking out a little bit where it shouldn't. Yeah,
but you know, normally if you've got, like I said, we normally aim for around 1/2 centimetre all the way around the outside. But I mean, some people have got nice decorative corner punches. That would look really nice as well, with nice kind of shaped edges. So another thing, simple but a nice finishing touch. I've got some, I always keep pre-cut tags, double-sided in all different colours. I'm just putting one of those on the front. So if you were gifting it, I've got 2 there. If you were gifting it to someone...
Actually, I'll have that one, Janie, because that looks lovely. The flowers in there.
I mean, you don't have to put one on there at all if you don't want one. But I think, again, it's a nice little touch.
I'm just going to go just underneath the butterfly there.
So I will pop that one there. Don't use a stick glue. Okay. What are you giggling at?
Well, you know who's in the gallery, don't you?
Are they being naughty?
They are. They've been teasing me today, Janie.
Have they? I wouldn't stand for it. Do you want to make a tassel?
Oh, now then, tassels. Yes. Have I got one of those?
Well,
I need to borrow
we might
yours.
need to grab one from the counter if we want to do it together.
Well, while we sort that out, shall we have another look at these wonderful samples, Janie, because they are fabulous. Let's have a look at these. Just before we do that, 1/3 of the one-day special is gone. We're very, very busy on the cradle. The details at bottom screen for that if you want to go for that bundle individually, but it's where the value is the one-day special. Let's have a look at what you could be making. Right, we are back. I'm having a bit of a technical difficulty at the moment. We may need to get a new earpiece. So if I'm struggling to hear what I'm being told in the gallery, I do apologise. Now, I'm just going to go through the one-day special again here. So with the one-day special, we've seen on the screen there, the complete book binding kit. You're getting so much in here, you really, really are. Janie, again, just talk us through everything that we're getting.
Okay, so you've got the cradle, which we've just been using, and the piercing guide and the awl. The book press, I'll try and get to a little bit later to show some of the ways that we use that, really handy. You can actually also use it as a flower press if you wanted to. Instead of putting things down into a brochure or a book guide, I decided it would be a lot easier putting it into DVD form. So you've got tutorials, several different binding techniques, decorative spines, some of which we've encapsulated a paintbrush and some beads, different things like that. You've got your thread, you've got your glue, a knife, binder clip, it goes on.
Fabulous, so much, there really, really is. Do you know, this is a great craft. If you've never tried it before, if you've never seen it before, something to go at. I know, you know, there's so many people, we've said this so many times, and we know what's going on out there. You know, this is something you could sit, make those gifts maybe in advance for birthdays, for Christmas, all those different reasons for putting these together. Look at these. Now, you've seen us putting together the pamphlet book. Well, you think, yeah, well, okay, it's a beautiful cover. We've got a lovely tassel on there. Yeah, it's a lovely little pamphlet book, but look at this. When we start to open it up, I mean, look what you can achieve inside here, using the papers from the DVD if you want to go for that one, but adding your little memories in there, your little notes. You really can build something very, very special indeed. And of course you can still put your photographs and things in here as well. Are these all printed from the compendium as well?
No, there's a mixture on there. Some are from the first volume one. Volume 1.
Oh, look at this. Now, we do have volume 1 available, actually, so if you've missed out on that one before, we'll give you the details. $14.99. Some of you have found it already. You have spotted it. $14.99. So it's a combination of volume 1 and volume 2
yeah,
within
and
here.
other bits and bobs from my stash as well in there.
Isn't that fabulous?
Yeah, so that's printed off from this one, and then obviously I've cut it out, and it's 2 that I've stuck together there. But this one here, I wanted to show you this one.
This is going to be addictive, Janie, isn't it?
It is. Oh, it's totally addictive, yeah. But all the scraps of paper, all those scraps that you keep probably in a box that you think, actually, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Now you're going to put them into journals and books.
Oh, I do love it.
This one I wanted to show you. So my niece made this one.
Did she?
So she sat down with me for probably no longer than half an hour. And I showed her how to do the 3-hole bind, which we've just done. I sent her home with some papers, printed a load off when I was designing the new DVD, and this is one of the things that she came up with. Now this was, you know, she hasn't been binding for very long, but she did it with the board, which she did pyrography on. She's put a leather spine on it, but that is just a 3-hole bind.
Wow.
And look at how different that is.
How old is your niece?
23.
I bet she loved every second of making that, didn't she?
I hope so.
Isn't it fabulous? Look, you can see there. I love the fact that you've used that wooden.
But this is what
there.
I wanted to get across from using simple. Like I said, this is exactly the same binding technique that we've just done. It's just the case that she's put hardcover and a leather spine.
So it's 2 single hard covers and then the spine, it's kind of the fold of the leather.
At some point, I'm not sure which show we'll get to it, but I'm going to show us a simpler version where we'll use some tape and putting, you know, 2 bits of board together.
Wow, love it.
And then she did this one as well.
Oh, wow. Now then, if you do want the guide, the cradle and the awl, details at the bottom of the screen, but I can tell you almost 60% of the stock has now gone. Now, the one-day special itself, almost 40% of the stock has gone. Remember, this is a double launch. If you've never seen this before, if you have seen it before, but you've not had a go yourself, or maybe you've had a dabble, maybe you've been to a workshop at some point or just had a go at home, you've got the whole kit here within the one-day special. Look at this, absolutely fabulous. Again, I'm recognising images there from the new compendium as well. Just beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Do you know, you're going to love this. Let's have a look at the compendium next. Details still on the screen, or it was on the screen. You'll find everything on the website, of course. Let's move down. Now, we want to get to the tassel soon, so we're just going to cover this again, because these papers that have been printed off, the book covers, you know, whether it's paper, whether it's card, whether it's fabric that you're printing on, you've got something absolutely stunning here, Janie. You really, really have. I would never, if you would have shown me any of those, I would never have believed you'd printed them out at home. Yeah,
and these are just on my home printer as well. So people's printers will vary. I'm lucky enough I've got a couple of different printers at home, because obviously, as you can see, I print off quite a lot. And one comes out with more vivid colours than the other, so they will vary slightly. Look at this. Is that printed from the compendium as well?
Yeah, then? So again,
so I backed it with the Bonder web, kept the paper backing, sent that through my printer. So just look at your own printer guidelines as to what you can get away with putting through. But yeah, my sister actually made...
I love them.
So the good thing with some of the family having to stay at home now is I can say, Tess, my sister, can you stitch me some little bags?
Do you know
Which
what?
she did.
I just love what I'm showing here as well. It's bringing back, there's often things that people bring onto these shows that bring back memories. My mum had a book that she'd inherited from some grandparent or great-grandparent, I can't remember, and there were little cards in there.
Yeah.
Some of them were quite religious, but they were this size and they all had little phrases and pictures on. It's reminding me of these. They're just fabulous, aren't they?
Well, these were using up... Have you read what it says on that one?
I haven't, no. I just think the image is amazing. Even monkeys fall out of trees. Well, I'm not surprised if that's what they're drinking.
So that is one of the, yeah, well, that's one of the sentiments on the DVD. So then, and there's some bottles. So again, I think I said earlier, you can print A4, A5, A6.
Yeah.
So that opens it up for you as well, because like those bottles, I printed them down, I think, on A6. So they're a lot smaller, and then like you can use them for different things.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Well, don't forget, with the one day special, got that flexi basket, so you can add in the compendium as well, just for an extra £7.50 today. In fact, you could add in whatever you want and put onto a flexi basket, including the tassel kit. So if you go to the website, that's where you'll find everything. The tassel kit, we're going to speak about that in a little while. Just £11.99, that's all it is. £11.99 is the price. Just fabulous, because you're getting everything you need, I'm sure, to make something wonderful to go with your book, of course. We're going to see that next, I hope. Are we, Jane? Is that what we're going to do?
Yes.
I've just got these, is that right?
Yeah, so we'll use the guide, but what I'm actually going to do, because it's quite a small book,
okay,
rather than using the yarn that's in the kit,
right,
I'm going to use a thread. Okay, so if you use the same one that we use for the binding, everything coordinates.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got 3 different sizes. I'm going to use the smallest size for this book, just because, you know, it's the smallest book.
Size.
I would use that one, or maybe the middle one. I wouldn't go any bigger for a book like this. So the first thing I'm going to do is trying to find my scissors, and I've got the massive pair that are right next to me. So I'm just going to cut a little bit. This is going to be the tie off at the top.
Okay.
So if we use this one as an example, I move that one out of the way. So this is just going to be this thread here, okay?
Right,
and we don't need too much, it's just to tie off into there.
Oh, I like your multicoloured one, that looks effective.
Yeah, so you can either use a variegated thread, or if you've got a couple of different ones, you can wind them both at the same time.
Yeah. Okay.
So what we're going to do first of all is, and this is, I'm not sure how well I can demonstrate this, but your thread goes through the top here, and we've created a little notch just to hold that thread in place.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. And then what I'm going to do is start off at the bottom, because this is going to be the bottom of the tassel where we cut off, and I'm going to put, okay, try and turn it for the camera. Put my thumb there so it holds the thread in place, and then I'm just going to wind it round.
I missed that bit, Janie.
I've just got my thumb on the back there,
I see,
just to hold it in place, and I'm just going to start winding it round.
Ah, yes, I understand.
So depending on how thick you want the tassel, as to, you know, how much, so there's not, if someone said, well, how much thread do I need to make a tassel? Well, that just very much depends on how thick you want the tassel, and, you know, you could put lace in here with it as well.
That's a really good answer. How long is a piece of string?
Well, yeah, exactly. I can do this much quicker at home when I'm not trying to do it for the camera. It's not the easiest thing to demo, is it?
My ball of yarn. Oh, it's about to escape off the edge of the table. There we are.
So I'm just going. Did you hear my tummy growl?
Was that you? Mine did that the other day. I'm so
really loud.
I'm so pleased that was you and not me. Mine did it the other day. But you know, sometimes you feel a bit hungry, I'm ready for my dinner, and you can tell it's going to do it. The other day, I just did it, and it was like so loud.
So I'm just moving along. I'm just going to tie that off at the top.
Okay.
Using the same way that we tied before. So I went left over right, and now I'm going right over left.
Okay, but with no wax on this, and that's fine.
No, we don't need any wax on this.
I don't know why I'm still winding. I'm just being greedy with the yarn now. Okay.
I've heard about you and your tassels, Catherine. Anyway, so on the bottom of the tassel maker, we've left a little slot in here, and this is for your scissors to go in.
Oh,
okay?
I see.
So it cuts the bottom of the tassel, like that.
You're a little bit in front of me, but it's fine. I know what I'm doing, I think.
So then you'll see in the guide we've got different sizes of holes. Okay, so depending on how thick your tassel is, let's see if mine will go through the small one. There we go. So what I'm doing is pulling it through.
Oh,
like that.
I wasn't looking at you then, Janie. Sorry.
Oh.
So right. Sorry, just bear with me.
That's it. So pop your scissors in to cut the base. That's it, and then take it off.
Take it off. Yeah.
So if you hold it by the, let me take mine out again. So hold it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then that bit threads through.
Oh, I see.
Mine's going through the smallest hole. Okay, and then I'm just pulling it through to where I want to tie off. So this bit here.
Yeah.
And again, you can, it just depends on how much thread you want around there. Because you could do it quite decorative. You could put a soft wire around there, or something contrasting, or a lace, or whatever you want.
Okay.
So I'm just going to reel off a little bit, and I'm going to do it double. Again, this is a little bit awkward to demo, but I'm going to wrap it around. So I feel like I'm all fingers and thumbs when I'm trying to do it for the camera.
We've got 1 minute left of the first hour, would you believe, Janie? Would you believe that already? Where's today gone?
Yeah, I know. So
and then we'll have a little bit of a break, but we should just be able to just finish our tassels, hopefully.
Yeah, I think so.
45 seconds, Janie, can we do it? As long as you get yours done, that's fine.
I'm going to carry on pulling then, and then it's up to you how long you want the tassel. And then what I'm going to do is cut straight across. Like
that's good. Yeah, okay. So it keeps it taut, so you get a nice, neat finish to it.
Yeah, and then all I need to do is cut off those two ends that we've just tied.
Now, almost a third of the stock has gone of the tassel making kit. This is great because you're going to use it so many times over. And look, Janie's done hers. How fabulous. Just $11.99. Look at that. Oh, fabulous. Now, we're having a quick break. Don't go anywhere, though. Make sure you check your baskets out. We'll be back very soon.